Holly Teska is a thought leader who is passionate about guiding successful transformations, supporting and developing authentic leadership, managing careers, and promoting business success through exceptional leadership. Her experience in strategic implementation, leadership, executive coaching, and talent development are the cornerstones of her work in helping organizations and leaders become the very best versions of themselves. A big secret here, Holly's superpower is helping individuals develop new competencies to achieve not only their professional and organizational success, but their personal fulfillment. And that comes with having a career that supports their life, purpose, and passions. Client success is what fuels her, and great execution, never underestimate the power of great execution, is what gets us there. All cool stuff. We're recent friends and acquaintances.
Yes,
Holly,
yes.
how are you?
I'm wonderful today. Thanks. Thanks so much for asking me to be here, Dave. I appreciate it.
No worries. Let's just jump in here. What do organizations need to do to reinforce strong, I'll say, cultural alignment and continued forward, not backward and not staying in place, but forward momentum for their work teams, the people who are actually doing their work? And these teams seem to be obsessed with trying to get back to normal. Let's try to get back to normal. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah. So, in terms of getting back to normal, first of all, I'm sure that you've heard this from others as well. I don't know what back to normal means at this point, and I think we're all still struggling to figure out exactly what that is. Um, I was reflecting on this with someone earlier today, and I think normal is what's happening right now. And I do think
Right.
the situation with masks and hand sanitizer and social distancing, I mean, that's with us for a long time yet. And we all need to get comfortable with that. I think in terms of aligning inside of organizations, I mean, it all comes down to communication in my mind, right? So leaders in the organizations need to be communicating as much as they can to their constituencies, and people have to be listening and figuring out what is it that they need to do to continue to drive their organization forward, and thinking about being adaptable as well as accountable. So there's communication is always a strong need in organizations, but people need to get over this idea of back to normal, because I think we're still trying to figure out what normal is going to be.
Fair enough. And are you observing? I mean, can organizational cultures be as plastic and malleable as they need to be right now, or do they need to sort of be fixed?
I think it depends on the organization, Dave. Certainly, some organizations are able to be more agile on their feet and zig and zag when they need to, others not. Keep in mind that organizational culture, whether it's planned or whether it is something that just emerges, doesn't shift quickly,
Mm.
right? So you kind of have what you have unless you make a concerted effort to say we want something different. And then it takes patience, it takes perseverance, it takes consistency, and you need to kind of get everybody rowing in the same direction. So yeah, I think it can. And going back to my earlier comments, we're all still trying to figure out what will normal look like going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And we just need to keep our ears and eyes open to the changing environment and be willing to do what we need to do in order to continue moving forward.
Excellent. And finally, Holly, I'm going to ask you the question I ask everybody who is courageous enough to sit in front of their camera and listen to me. What lessons have we learned or are we learning right now during this moment of high flux? A whole bunch of different crazy things
Yeah.
happening. What lessons are we learning right now that we must not forget?
Well, I think we are all resilient and capable beings, right? I think we've demonstrated that we were able to shift and shift quickly at a time when, I mean, I think, a year ago, I didn't know what a Zoom was, right? And now I spend most of my day on a Zoom. Um, you know, it's we can't forget the good that's come from this situation. And while, absolutely some horror stories have emerged from this, people dying and illness and suffering and, not the kinds of things that we want to see, but we have seen some good come from this.
Mhm.
And I believe we've been propelled further and more rapidly into the gig economy than we could have done had we just clunked along the way we were. We need to be grateful for that. I think we need to be grateful and remember that there are a lot of kind people out there that do care, and there is a lot of compassion in the world. And in a time when it's so easy for us to get caught up in all the bad things that are going on and the sniping and the political scene and all the rest of it, we have come together as human beings to help one another through the human condition.
Mhm.
And we need to be grateful for that and just hang on to it and remember that we are resilient.
Thank you so much. It struck a chord with me, the thing you said about being kind. Just yesterday, I saw a little sign alongside the road. I was off running an errand or something like that. It was just this little homemade sign in somebody's front yard, and it just had two words on it. It just said, "Be kind." And I was like, that really, touched me. I was like, yeah, exactly. Be kind.
Yes, yes. I have such a sign in my kitchen, and I also have a T-shirt that says "Kindness is free." So,
Holly, so great to see you. And I know you and I are going to be talking a lot elsewhere,
yeah.
doing other things. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Take care.